Live from the back of a moving U-Haul in the heart of Columbus, it's Tacky Tablecloths!
This is a very urgent announcement from the Omega Solar System.
Big out.
What's going on in the Omega Solar System?
We have returned with movie films from the Omega Solar System.
Oh yeah, what's one of them? Name one film from the Omega Solar System.
The Walk.
Oh shit!
What about The Big Spill?
That's another movie that I picked up while my travels through the Omega Solar System.
Ooh, that Omega Solar System.
Welcome.
Hey, who's this guy talking?
Welcome.
I don't know
Hi. This is me. It's Bryn. I've transformed into a the Star Child from the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
No one's seen that movie, Grandpa.
What's that, old man?
I tell
only
you,
watch
back in
memes.
my days, we didn't have special CGI computers.
Stanley Kubrick.
We had to tape a pen to a piece of plain glass window to make it look like it was floating.
My grandson's a failure.
My favorite movie's the one about the armadillo and the sausage.
That's a good one. That was French? Or
Yes.
Belgium?
You know, it's
Yes,
called
it's part of
Sausage
Belgium.
Party.
The French New Sausage Party.
With
It's
Big
part of
Al
the French
and
New Wave
Zac
cinema.
Efron.
Right up there with Godard and Breathless. You know, there was also just possum and a sausage.
Alex is wielding his mic like a sword. Like he's taking it out of the ground.
Well, the
It's the
thing
Master
fucked up, so
Sword.
it doesn't stand on its own anymore.
Alex
so.
is holding an ice cream cone.
Welcome back to Tacky
This is what we get
Tablecloths.
for letting you be on.
This is a program where we ramble on for a while in the back of a U-Haul.
And we supposedly talk about movie films.
I think there's a leak in the U-Haul. Like there's like carbon monoxide or
I've
some
been
kind of
poking
fumes.
holes in it.
Oh,
I like
there's-
looking at the cars
There's
behind
definitely
me.
a leak of something. 'Cause
there's a
animals
leak.
keep getting in. Like we had that drunk squirrel that one time.
Yeah.
Well,
And the dog.
that was in my pocket originally.
The
I
dog
took it
that's
from the pet store.
Not here anymore. No, you weren't here the day that the drunk
Today we're
squirrel.
joined-
Oh, you're talking about reality. Okay.
Today we're joined by special guest star Anthony, also known as Boggin.
Do you want to introduce
The
yourself,
name's
little guy?
Boggin. My name's Barn.
No, that's not it. You said it the
No,
first time.
I am Barn.
No, you're not.
No, I am Barn.
He's been on the show 3 times now.
My name's
Yeah.
Anthony Cardosi.
And every time it's a goddamn headache just to wrangle him in.
That's Barn. That's not true.
Oh, now I'm Barn.
Yes, he's referring to
I am
himself
Barn.
and you. He's talking in the second person.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, now it tightens.
Titans, roll out.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Barn.
Shut the fuck up for 5 minutes.
ahead.
I gotta introduce
Go
the
ahead,
segment.
I could introduce the segment.
Well, I was gonna throw it over to you, but
Oh, okay.
Throw
all
it
right.
over to Barn.
Introduce it.
so
and
last
throw it
time we
over
were
to me.
on the air, we talked about how we would be off for about a week and a half or more.
We fucking lied.
Yeah, we're on.
We're cranking it out faster than that kid in the back of the bus with a giant hog.
Big hog.
Would you say it was a fat hog, Alex?
Yeah, big fat hog.
A
Cranking
big fat
that-
hog?
cranking that fat hog out? So, we talked about how we were doing the 48-hour film project in Columbus.
Yes.
And
Because
as
I called it a challenge and you ripped me a new asshole for it.
yeah, because it's not
Challenge.
the cinnamon challenge. Yeah. So as of Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
pretty much, we are done with that. We have turned in our movie film, and we're all submitted. We got all the paperwork in, and we're gonna be screened at the Gateway
Film
Center in Columbus, Ohio, on
August 11th.
August 11th at 7:30.
Block D.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Thank you, little guy.
D.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you remembered that.
I did. I put it on my refrigerator with a Sharpie.
Yay.
You just
And my dad said, I'm going to
just
put
draw
you
it
in a
on
bag.
the refrigerator with a Sharpie?
Uh-huh.
You just took a Sharpie and just...
Yeah, my dad said while I'm sleeping tonight, he's going to put me in a big giant trash bag and throw me off a cliff.
Is that before or after he vacuums the street?
Before, because you don't want to back into a messy street.
I guess it's still a better fate than the raccoon that he ran over.
That's true. So, for those of you that don't know, the 48-hour film project, where the fuck it's called,
Project
Festival.
I keep calling it festival.
Because film festivals are called film festivals. Yeah. This is a project.
The Tums
so,
Festival.
They start you out, or at least ours did. It started off at Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they give you, you draw out of a bag your genre. There's 2 genres on it. You got to pick from 2. We chose mockumentary, which is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. Oh, well, our other option was fantasy, and
that would have been a little harder,
Gal,
but I'm
however,
sure we could have pulled it
romance.
off.
I did. I wanted romance because I had the perfect idea, but
Is this
It's the romance idea was a little more absurd.
yeah,
than
that's
what we
why
did.
I liked
Have you
it
spoken
more.
about that on the podcast yet?
No.
No. This is something we're going to do, so I don't want to.
I
Oh,
don't wanna
okay.
spoil it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we can make it better now that we don't have the time crunch of 48 hours.
Yeah.
We can
So we
enhance it.
and then we get a character with a name and an occupation, a line of dialogue, and a prop. And so this year it was the character was a detective.
Detective Jordan or Jayla Tillerman.
The prop was paper towels
Or paper towel.
There could be one sheet.
We only used one sheet of paper towel in our video.
Uh-huh. What do you want to explain the 24 pack?
No, let's not. Let's leave that as a little bit of a mystery.
And then the line was how did you do that?
How did you do that?
So very vague, and then they send you on your way and they're just like, go make something that's under 7 minutes.
I like the line and prop from last year better, which is last year's line was, "You don't see that every day," and then the prop was a cookie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just think there could have been some funny, interesting things to do with that as well.
Oh yeah, I mean people did do some interesting things, but
that door open.
who cares?
Oh, the door to the back of the U-Haul slid open. Anthony, don't try and close it. You're just gonna hurt yourself or fall out.
Okay. All
We
right.
need you here for recording the podcast. We'll worry about that later.
Oh God! Werther's original. Werther's no. Werther's original, our dead intern. His body just fell out of the back of the U-Haul.
That was Steve. I don't like
Oh
Steve.
God, he just got ran over by a Prius.
Ooh.
It looks like we're in the short north, so if you just saw a body fall out of the back of a U-Haul, you're welcome.
I'm just waiting for that guy to walk into the pawn shop and lay him down on the counter like, where did you find this? Fell off the back of a truck.
I got a
Yeah, I'm
buddy.
sure it did. No, I'm serious. It really did.
Joke's on you. I already took all the pistachios out of his pockets. There's nothing
Oh,
left
I
to
mean,
gain.
yeah.
Mm.
What I'm wondering is whether or not his college is going to contact us and see if he still gets credit for his internship.
Can you get posthumous?
Posthumous credit.
Oh.
I'll write him a letter of recommendation. Or
we never had the authority to actually give him credits. I just lied and told him that so that he would intern for us.
shit, I had a good joke, but I can't remember what the word is.
That's what you say when you don't
For it.
actually have a good joke.
No, I did.
And you want people
With
to
the
think you have
eulogy.
one.
God damn it.
Oh, here, give
Eugene?
your joke now.
Okay, here's
we'll
my
pretend
joke.
we didn't hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be willing to write him a letter of recommendation, or I guess a eulogy. But
Ha.
Sound of-
there we go. So anyway, we're trailing.
Yeah, we're real bad about that. Let's do a little bit better, guys.
Yeah,
Anthony
so-
specifically,
Yes.
So
as the main host of the show,
we had,
I hold you to a higher standard.
Alex, die.
All right, so we had Friday night, all of Saturday, and then Sunday up until 7 o'clock to actually submit our movie.
So pretty much all of Sunday, too.
Yeah. So yeah, when we got back, I mean, on the car ride home, we were bullshitting, brainstorming ideas and stuff. We basically had an outline already.
Well, yeah, I'd already had an outline. Well,
And that's why-
rough outline before we
yeah.
even got assigned a mockumentary. And I don't want to give too much away right now, but I will just say, if you guys listened to our previous episode, it ties in very loosely to the dream that I had.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, did you tell?
I mentioned that last
Oh
time.
okay, yeah.
Bryn, could I ask if you got, let's say, sci-fi and you had no idea what you were gonna do, could you explain like what your thinking process would be? Because I was wondering myself, like, how the heck would you be able to think of something like that, and what would that be?
I mean, I'm sure we could have come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, because even I know you were a little tired, so you weren't paying too much attention to our writing process.
Tired.
On
Yeah,
Friday.
I was very
He
tired.
was scooting around like the Grinch on Christmas.
Yippee!
And eating stealing my Pop-Tarts.
Someone
and shoving
needed
it down
yelling
his
at.
face
The
hole.
the Grinch is green.
I'm not wearing green, so that's invalid.
I don't know. I'm sure we would have came up with something.
Oh, I
really
know.
quick.
I know. Yeah, I definitely would have.
It's just a matter of just getting that. Usually, it's that loose concept, and then we'll just start like
rolling
telling,
off that.
yeah, just telling jokes back and forth, and be like, "Oh my god, that would be so funny."
Yeah.
And then we'll be like, "But how does that fit in?" And then we'll find a way for that to fit in. And
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, our prop originally was not a very major part of the story, and then the prop became a pretty major part of the story.
oh yeah,
Without
it was,
spoiling too much.
Yeah.
which is what I wanted to do because I've seen a couple of the or a few like various submissions over the years from different cities, and sometimes they utilize the prop in a way that ties into the story, but most of the time people just put it in there because they're like, well, we have something completely different, we just have to use it, well, it'll be on screen for 2 seconds, but
Like, especially since it was cookies last year.
Yeah.
I watched so many from last year where all they did was just like
Just have cookies in the
have
back.
a bowl of cookies out.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about last year's winner, which literally had the cookie be killing people at a cabin. Like,
yeah.
that was hilarious. And that's I was also hoping we'd get a fun prop. I was honestly hoping for carrots, but I had a couple ideas in mind.
Yeah.
If our prop was a carrot.
Yeah, and I
Especially
mean,
if it was
I
romance.
honestly, I think that we used the character and the line to tie in everything
Yeah.
as well. It wasn't just sort of shoehorned in.
Oh no, because that's even again with I love that line from last year of the you don't see that every day, but it was so many times it was just like every film you just see it and they're like, well, you don't see that every day.
Right, just sort of one-off thing. But yeah, and
If the character was a mechanic though, that'd be a lot harder to fit in than a detective. Are you all has plumbing issues?
our toilet. Hey, shitter broke. All right, so getting off of jerking ourselves off.
Oh, I mean, we're so good.
So
at
yeah,
it.
we pretty much what are we up? Yeah, we
It's only
rode
been
all
5 minutes.
we rode all night. We were up all night, and then once everyone left, it was just Alex and I.
Yeah,
Finished up the script.
We finalized it. Ate some pizza. Went to sleep. Got ready for the big day of filming. which
Yeah,
was-
we got everyone together, like mostly everyone at 8 a.m. and I think we started shooting a little after 9 and went until about 6 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
6, 7.
And we took an hour lunch too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it helped that we had a mockumentary, so there wasn't necessarily much.
Things
Sorry
were more
about that.
loose.
There wasn't much. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, yes, but.
We still had to memorize our lines, but like it just the environment.
Oh, we had to
felt-
memorize our lines.
Oh, we didn't have to
Oh,
write on Sharpie
I
and hold it
did.
up behind the camera.
Excuse me, some of us don't know how to memorize
Hey,
things.
I'm memorizing lines here.
I know
Listen,
how
to
memorize
give you
lines
the
now.
benefit of the doubt, we literally gave the lines to you 2 seconds before I said action.
Yes.
So,
Yes, thank you for telling
like,
the
I
viewers
get it.
that. Big Al
I'm just giving you shit, man. I'm just giving you shit. You did fine.
Actually, I
But-
did figure out a way to memorize lines if you want to hear it.
Sure.
It's kind of interesting.
Should we be giving this advice away to free? Actually, yeah. Let's just hear it.
Well, it's a lot of people use a technique. You just write out your line, if it's a sentence, a paragraph, whatever, and then you take the first letter of each word and write that out. And I guess if you memorize the letters, you can memorize the word. It's just easier for your brain to process.
Like PEMDAS?
Yeah.
Yeah, PEMDAS,
Okay,
yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and you write it in, like, blocky, so, like, your brain
My dude's a
can read it
method
better.
actor.
I am.
Certainly my acting.
Certainly my acting.
We lost.
In contrast to when we filmed my sister, and
Oh my
I
God,
told
she
her
was amazing.
I told her line, and then I
Once.
said go, and she did it perfectly, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
Whereas my bro would still be improving off of the lines he was reading.
He was
off.
physically reading off of a piece of paper. But no, it turned out well. Most of what we shot, it was all interviews because it was a
Yeah.
mockumentary. We had a couple of like various shots here and there
Some
to like
action
intersplice,
sequences.
but
Action.
Well, I mean, they were actiony,
Yeah, they were.
especially for a documentary type thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
how many documentaries feature, intense
Dialogue.
car chases and
Pushing,
verbal
shoving,
confrontations,
car
and-
chase.
Oh, yeah. There is a
Pull-
car chase in this film.
All right.
And there's that real nice suspense building moment when it's really, really hot out.
Oh yeah, real hot.
Oh,
So like everyone, we went off script, or we did the scenes by the script, and then kind of let people improv for
Yeah, well, I mean,
various
and
stuff,
even
and-
two of the people who we had in it had originally had very, 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 very small roles. Like
yeah, they were in
just
for
supposed to-
one scene.
originally, and they were so damn good. My boys Jack and Rob. I don't think it's bad to say their names or anything. Yeah, my boys Jack and Rob played their characters so well that we were like, okay.
Yeah, they played it better than we wrote it for.
Oh God,
yeah.
And then we just kind of let them go,
They
and I
vibed
even
off each other, too.
I
so
use
good.
I use some of their improv, and
And
I got
there's some beautiful things that they made that we just couldn't use because everyone else was dying so hard from it.
I'm gonna a little bit before, probably next week at some point, I'm gonna throw together a blooper reel, and then
Yes.
after we put up the actual short film, I'm gonna throw up the blooper reel as well because oh my God, that shit that we got was just too good to just
was
let
amazing.
sit in a hard drive.
Like, I mean, we've always had some pretty good bloopers, but this was a whole. And I think part of that was, all of our videos that we've shot. It's just been the three of us. Sometimes our friend Dan, sometimes our friend Nathan. Like, I think it genuinely helped a lot to have so many other people with us. Like,
Oh yeah, just
even people who weren't acting or doing anything in the scene, like our friend Bird. She's just giving ideas or bringing energy or having conversations with people that brought it all up to another level. I think.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
I really liked the atmosphere, and
Yeah.
which like when I know how stressful these things can be for some people that like we
was
take it
very
seriously, but there's those people that are like
Oh God, yeah.
up their own ass about this and like
Well,
all that.
and I mean, I don't.
And like I get it.
blame
It
them because
that's totally fine. Like we definitely take ourselves seriously, even though we make goofy shit.
We take our goofy stuff seriously because we want it to be high quality still.
High quality goofs. Yeah, like when we turned in the film, which was like, what was it, like 5:30 or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Like,
because I mean, we were basically done by like 2. Well, aside from the formatting issues that we ran into because of the, to just be nice, we'll just say archaic methods that you had to upload your project in. Which 48, like, I mean, you guys could probably do a little bit better than that, I think.
They just
use-
have to get it to run on somebody's laptop so they can plug it into the digital projector.
Make sure you have
like,
Windows
I get
Paint
it.
installed.
Like they want it
that's
to
why
be.
it didn't need to be nearly as like specific as it was.
Yeah, but it was also good because there were a couple things that we, as we were finalizing and watching it over again, we're like, okay, let's fix this. We have time.
I'm mostly just pissed off that I wasted $11 on flash drives and they're gone.
Hey,
forever.
Birdie wasted $20 on those paper towels.
I told her I would reimburse her.
No, I think she returned them. But
No, she didn't. They're still here. They're right there.
hi,
You
paper
walked past
towels.
Uh,
They're in the back of the
yeah,
U-Haul
so
with us still.
yeah, we found out that we were the second group to turn
Brought
in.
them into the U-Haul.
Which was surprising. Like I thought there would be at least a couple people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, most people like come in at like 7:30, last minute. They just finished rendering and all this shit." Alex is closing the door to the U-Haul.
No, I didn't.
And there were even like, how many groups like turned in late or
10 actually. I
10.
thought it was 8. It was 10.
So out of 49 people who signed, or 49 teams that signed up,
One didn't show up at all.
yeah.
10 turned in late.
Okay, so there's 38 that are actually going to be.
Yes.
Screened.
38 they're going to be screened.
The Battle Royale, 10 down, 38 to go.
Well, they're all going to be
honestly-
screened. It's just, the
Up for
awards.
awards.
Yeah.
And I think the late ones can still get the audience awards and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I believe.
That makes sense.
Which is funny because like I was watching some of the ones from last year. I know I already said that a little bit, but like some of the ones that won the overall thing, or like didn't win the overall thing, but won audience ones, and I was like, these are a lot better. And I'm like, I wonder if they were just late, and that's why
Yeah.
they didn't crack the
Yep.
top 3 or whatever.
Yeah, so, I was just wondering, like how the other teams, what their whole creative process and everything was. Because honestly, this entire weekend was really chill. Otherwise, other than like being slightly sleep deprived. There's the word.
That's the sleep deprivation.
And having to edit, for hours on end, and
Well,
But-
I think it helped again since we were a mockumentary, and going back to like when Anthony was saying like compared to other groups, we didn't have a lot of locales. We had like 2 main places that we were shooting at.
right.
Uh,
Wasn't there one team where they burned down their set or something?
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
know what happened with that.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
all I saw
excited
was
to see
something
that
in the
one.
Facebook group about it. But somehow someone's set caught on fire, so I would imagine that'd be hella stressful.
Some kind of action scene, pyrotechnics.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
they at least
bullshit.
filmed it.
But even like,
Yeah, I hope they got it on film.
Yeah, might as well.
like our friends group rented a cabin and filmed out there. Like, like an
Well,
hour
yeah,
and a half from
they
here.
drove down. Was it in West Virginia?
Yes.
It's like right on the West Virginia-Ohio border, I think.
Yeah,
And
so-
if we can ever get things to work out for our buddy Dan to actually come on, we can ask him about it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, because from what I heard from them, like they drove down, came up with it, on the drive down, shot all through the night, and they were done filming like in the morning,
Yeah.
and then they turned theirs in
Wild.
after us, but sometime Sunday.
And
But,
their genre was sci-fi too, so I'm sure there's probably some more intricate editing that had to be done with that.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mockumentary, I'm not saying that it was an easy genre because it's very difficult to have a compelling enough subject for a good mockumentary.
yeah.
The
were
editing
lucky
was pretty
to already
easy.
have what I mean, not to blow.
Well, and
smoke
also
in
not to be
the
like,
ass, but-
we had the whole thing planned beforehand. It's like we definitely did not.
Master
No,
plan.
the end product is nowhere near what the start was.
Yeah, it was based
Other
on a
than,
fever
like,
dream,
yeah,
basically.
It's based on a nightmare I had. But I think we had and that's the big thing for it, because even like a really top tier mockumentary like Spinal Tap or
Yeah.
American Vandal, they're both done really well, but it's mostly about having a compelling story and characters.
Yeah. You basically just have to have an outline of, where do you want to get from point A, B, C, and D, and then in between that you
Fill in the
have
blanks.
scenes of saying, usually with those kind of things they have improv actors, like especially with Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
They just say,
Oh,
here's
you
the
said-
scene,
Yeah,
go.
you're mad
Same-
about
same
this,
with
do so
Vandals,
and
too,
so.
'cause, like the main dude, Jimmy dude, was like a YouTube fucking.
Jimmy.
Yeah, because I've seen his stuff before.
Because that's kind of how it was too. Other than the specific lines that we had to have word for word because of story beats or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Jack and Rob's. Well, Jack's, but it's not really Rob. But
Yeah.
Just say whatever the fuck you want, man.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with this.
Too.
I think we all killed
Give
it.
yourself a pat on the ass.
Give yourself
Yeah, dude,
a pat.
you're basically a
No,
stunt
give
man now.
yourself a pat on the ass.
I'm a stunt man.
Yeah, you're my bro's a stunt man. He drove a car.
Whoa!
And
Big
you got
spoilers.
smacked a couple of times.
That's true,
That's true.
but we all smacked each other,
Speaking of stunt
On
men,
and
you
off
know who my
screen.
favorite new stunt man is?
Is it Cliff Booth?
It's Cliff Booth from Quentin Tarantino's ninth film, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Segue! We're talking about that now.
We're talking about
You're
Mexico,
close, but
or
that's not what it's called.
Did I say Mexico?
You did.
yeah.
Damn it!
Why did
That's-
why did you say Mexico,
'Cause
Barn?
that's a different movie.
That's a Robert Rodriguez movie.
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in La La Land.
That's closer.
Once Upon a Time in Southern California.
That's probably the best we're gonna get. We'll just go
All
with that.
right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too. That was a movie that the three of us saw, and that is a movie that is inherently about making movies and acting in them. So
Very
it's
meta.
kind of a-
Yeah, we saw it right before. Yeah,
Right
we saw it
before
the
we
day
filmed
before
this.
we did this, which is a
little
mockumentary about making movies.
Yeah.
Not to spoil anything,
It
but
was a little funny. I'm sure Anthony of all people can relate to the line sequence that's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
line.
where he's beating the shit out of himself in the trailer because he can't remember his lines and he's calling himself a has-been.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times. It usually works.
So, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Yes.
directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring
Bradley Pitterson,
Brad Pitt and
Leo.
Leo
DiCaprio,
and Margot Robbie, however the hell you say it,
Margot Robbie.
Curtis Russell,
Kurt Russell, Zoe
And
Bell, not
Bell.
Jackie Chan,
yeah, not Jackie Chan, not Chang Lee,
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. I was talking about his brother.
Huh?
His brother Chang Lee.
Chang Lee?
Yep, Chang Lee.
No. He had a son named Brandon Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His son died on set of The Crow.
Oh.
Yeah. He got shot.
That
By
movie.
Anyway, you got me off track. I'm trying to give a synopsis of the movie.
Basically, the movie is about a former... Well, I'm just doing it for you. Is that okay? I can
Go
summarize it.
for it.
A
Y'all
former
interrupted me.
Hollywood star finds himself struggling to adapt to a changing Hollywood that no longer relies upon star power.
Which is basically what movies have become now.
Yep.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've read a lot of articles in the days after talking about that, and I'm not as quick to call in the death of the movie star as they are, but
Yeah, because I talk about seeing movies with Will Smith and all the time, and Alex gives me crap, but I like Will
that's
Smith.
more Bryn than me. Bryn is the one who really doesn't like.
I don't
Will
like
Smith.
Will
but
Smith.
I do like seeing movies just for certain actors, definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely less than it used
But
to be.
yeah, definitely.
I would argue significantly less. Like,
Yeah.
some an actor like Chris Pratt, like for the most part, you're not going to see Chris Pratt. The fact that he's in it helps, but God damn it,
Mr. Sneeze.
Mr. Sneezy. But you're going to see Jurassic World and Guardians of the Galaxy because it's Jurassic Park and Guardians of the Galaxy. Having him and the other actors in it is just kind of
Mrs.
the icing
Lady.
on the cake.
I disagree with that,
Her
but I
name
know
is
what you
Mrs.
mean, Barn.
Lady.
Yeah, I mean,
Because Chris Pratt, for me, made that movie.
oh, absolutely.
Well, I
but-
mean, the culmination, but Chris Pratt, really carried it.
Well, yeah, but it used to be
You have to get
you have an actor and it's just, like Tom Cruise or something that he
Yeah.
gets asses in seats.
Yeah, one single person. But now you need, a couple.
Yeah, you need it's all about the ensemble cast now.
Yeah.
Especially with, streaming services and TV shows and stuff. People
Which is
care
what
more
this
about the
movie
ensemble.
is definitely an ensemble. really good actors.
Quentin Tarantino films always are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, like, as far as the two main characters, which are Leo and Brad Pitt, you know, they carry the movie. I think Brad Pitt more so than Leo.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I think it was it, do you think it was more about him than the other?
I mean, it's sort of split.
It is
you know,
pretty split down the
they,
middle.
you know, it's a symbiotic relationship between the two.
I
like,
guess it's more, yeah.
you know, Leo needs Brad and Brad needs Leo. You know,
That's true.
So
It's a good bro movie.
Don't forget about the dog that needs Brad.
and the dog who won
Raccoon
the Cannes Film Festival's highest animal award.
Yes.
He was a
The
good
Palm
boy.
dog.
She was a good boy. She
Was it a
the good
CGI
girl.
dog?
She good girl.
No, it wasn't a CGI
No, that was a real ass.
dog.
That was a
Oh,
real ass
okay.
dog.
Well,
Why would they get a CGI dog?
it's easier and you don't
Game
have
of
to train
Thrones
it.
did that.
Yeah, but they were.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Does Quentin Tarantino seem like the type to get a CGI dog?
No, there was not even surprisingly, but like, I'm glad there wasn't, you know, like any CGI in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if there was anything, it was probably just done to make it look more setting appropriate.
Yeah, maybe like some slight background stuff.
Yeah, because
Like, unnoticeable.
Well, for the most part, like it wasn't like they blue screened off a bunch of streets. They completely redesigned.
Oh yeah, all their
streets
sets.
in Los Angeles to look like old school Los Angeles, just for like the 5 seconds
Oh,
that Brad Pitt
yeah.
drove by in his
It'll
car.
win set design.
Oh,
For sure.
production design, absolutely.
Hughes in his chair, like, all right, Brady's gonna drive by, and we're gonna have Dakota Fanning's feet. Her feet are gonna be right up against that window
Speaking
there.
of feet, this is the most foot fetishist movie.
Yeah.
Foot fetishy movie.
I despise feet.
Kaylee, take a hint
Oh, what?
if she's listening.
Boggan's trying to
his
talk
girlfriend.
to his girlfriend. You're saying you want more of her feet? I don't know what you're...
More feet.
No, this is.
Boggy likes feet.
I'm a feet guy. Just
I know Boggan likes feet.
putting it out there.
Big old feet.
Yeah. I know.
Since you were
But
on the
anyway,
subject.
usually in Tarantino movies, there's like one, maybe 2 shots of feet,
Oh, I
and
know.
it's sort of a running joke. He had to do this on purpose.
Oh, God, he was...
Well, this movie was very meta, so it makes sense that he kind of did that.
I like to think that it's a joke, but at the same
It's
time,
gotta be a joke.
I don't know. Yeah, because
I don't know, man.
Either way,
like there's an entire scene where Brad Pitt and one of the Manson girls they're driving up to that ranch where Charlie Manson lived for a bit, and they're in the entire scene, which is inside the car. She has her dirty ass bare feet pressed up against the windshield. And they're in like full frame the entire time. You know, it's not like she's like in the background or something, and the feet are just sort of there. The feet are like in the foreground, just slightly out of focus, taking up half to 3/4 of the screen, and then Brad Pitt's in the background there talking.
it was beautiful.
Even in the shots from outside of the car, like, from a distance, car coming down, still made sure to zoom in enough that you could tell her feet were still rubbing against the window.
Those squished up feet. Press and pause right against the windshield.
Not to mention Margot Robbie going to see the movie and Sharon Tate and being like, oh, I guess I'll just take my shoes off now.
But what? Okay, so what were you?
It's just any other, like...
I'm segueing away from feet
Okay,
here.
thank you.
What are you guys' thoughts, just generally, on the movie before we
Big Al?
kind of dissect it a little bit?
Has it marinated well for you?
I definitely have a higher opinion of it now than I did coming straight out of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I still just... I really would like to see it again before I give, like, a concrete, like, this is 100% how I feel about this, because... Everybody else who I know that's, like, talking about films, they're all like, oh, this is a masterpiece. This is right up there with the rest of them. And I'm like, I really just don't see it. Like, there's a lot that was, on a technical level, it was pretty much perfection again.
Yeah.
The story was mostly entertaining. It was way too goddamn long, but what else is new for Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
But to me, it kind of reminds me a lot of, like, I know a lot of people did not like The Hateful Eight, but for me, I loved the shit out of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I can kind of feel how those people felt after seeing it, where, for whatever reason, just all the meandering together just was too much, and it just took me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I was 100% in all of the tension built up in The Hateful Eight.
Oh, yeah.
But there wasn't, it was all just so purposeless in this. And I know people are also now trying to compare it to The Big Lebowski in that sense, but The Big Lebowski is one of the funniest goddamn movies ever.
And it also, like, yeah, they chillax for most of the time, but there's always something getting them to the next objective.
In Lebowski.
In Lebowski,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
So that's where I completely agree with you, for pretty much, like, everything you just said. And, yeah, like, this just felt, like, I get the vibe that he was going for. Like, it's a little more laid back. Every single goddamn reviewer I have seen has to start off with, this is Tarantino's love letter to the 60s.
Right.
And it's like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
It's accurate, but we don't need to say it.
No. Even though we just said it.
Well.
But,
God damn it.
I know. But, it felt more self-indulgent than most of his movies do.
Oh, by
like they're
God,
they're all of his other movies already are like, so this is my homage to Hong Kong action movies and crime dramas and all this shit. And this one just felt like, here's some scenes of people talking.
Yeah,
and that's what his movies usually are, is scenes of people talking. But everything typically has a purpose.
Yes.
Everything leads to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, he is very self-indulgent in all of his films. But the difference is, in all of those, the self-indulgence never hinders the story or the actual movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's
always progressing towards something.
It never feels like it's the entire purpose of it. And in this movie, it felt like the entire purpose of it. Like the entire
Well, it
thing
felt like
was,
the first two acts were
yeah.
we're just sort of like, here's the setup for the characters themselves, and then the payoff at the very end, which is like 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was. That's what it's all leading up to, but it doesn't really feel like it was leading up to that.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Especially if you have no prior knowledge of, the Manson killings, the Sharon Tate murder, all that stuff, which I feel like it shouldn't rely on your prior knowledge of it. I feel like it should gradually introduce that, which they did, but it's without that prior knowledge, which I'm sure everyone seeing this has that knowledge.
No, surprisingly.
Even then, like, me as someone, like, I know quite a bit about Charles Manson and the murders and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
It just felt tacked on.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah, completely.
It was just sort of like, hey, look, here it is, and I get the symbolism of it, I get the theme of the movie and all that, but it didn't come together as well as I wish it would have.
Yeah.
Even though I enjoyed a lot of the individual scenes, with like Leonardo DiCaprio, he's on set of like a Western TV show, and he, the one scene where like they're filming an episode of a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's shot like in the movie. It's not like you can see the director behind. It's like they're literally shooting that episode, and then he stops and says line.
Yeah.
And then the camera cuts
It pulls
back. Yeah, when they're done, it pulls back, and you can see all the set people now.
Yeah, and that was probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah,
And
it
that's-
was.
And-
Yeah.
and because that was building on the character moments, Like,
Yeah, and I loved. Yeah, like all those character moments, and mostly Brad Pitt, like whatever he was doing, I
Pretty
thought that
much,
was
yeah.
fun, but there just wasn't that strong payoff.
I think it would have been a lot better for the film if it didn't shoehorn in the Manson aspect of it.
Or at least
And
give it a
really-
little more.
Yeah, it misled me for sure.
See, I want to say giving it more, but at the same time, it's like, dear Christ, this movie was already so unnecessarily long. Like,
Well, I know. And
So-
but by give it more, I don't mean like have more than one scene of Charles Manson, because I feel
well,
like
that's not, yeah, that's not
when
even
you
the
have
issue. Like,
when you have like a movie where you're like spoilers, you're rewriting history.
Mm-hmm.
You still want to pay respects to like the tragedies that happen. You don't want to glorify these like real life terrible people, because something like Pulp Fiction, where you have these gangsters running around. These are fake people. These are cartoon characters basically. But these these are real
gangsters
people
don't give
who
a fuck
committed
about
real
Hawaiian
murder.
burgers.
Yeah. These are real people who committed real murders, and you don't want to glorify them in any way. And that's something that he understands, and that, when he was first coming on the scene.
Oh, he more than understands the implications of violence in movies.
Well, no, absolutely, but like,
It's just fun, Janet. It's just fun.
yeah, because it's so much fun. Like, that kind of stuff is like, he realizes the difference between fantasy and reality, and
Yeah.
and
Yes.
most people do realize that. It's like, yeah, we watch these movies because we don't see this in everyday life. We see actual gruesome, sad violence. We don't see people jumping off walls and slicing each other with katanas.
You don't
Like,
see
that's
Brad
fun.
Pitt shooting someone in a pool with a goddamn flamethrower.
Oh yeah,
That
just
was
fun.
Leo.
Or,
You said Brad.
Yeah.
Huh?
You don't see Brad Pitt taking a can of dog food and busting someone's teeth open with it.
Oh yeah, the flamethrower thing.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Have you ever heard the old? I don't know who coined it, but it's an old play saying like if there's a gun in the first act, it must be shot,
Yeah.
fired off in the final
Yeah.
act. In the first act of this movie,
There's the flamethrower.
there's a flamethrower that Leo used in one of his.
Yeah,
Is that why they
fake
showed that in
movies
the
or whatever.
beginning?
Yeah.
I
make-
didn't
to
know
make
about
the
the little
fried
Easter egg.
sauerkraut.
Yeah, and then at the
Well, 'cause-
very end, one of the Manson girls is in his pool all fucked up. He goes into his shed and he pulls out a fucking flamethrower, and it's the best goddamn part of the movie.
What I was trying to remember was if the throwaway line about him getting to hold on to it was like from his dinner with the studio exec or what. But, because like he does at one point mention that he had gotten to hold onto the flamethrower. I just can't remember where that
Yeah,
line came
I think
from.
he does, but the movie's so damn long,
Well,
and
yeah,
there's
no,
so.
but
Yeah.
it's just another like, and that's why it's not even like it was a bad script or anything. It just, it was just.
I feel like
way
it needed
too
some more-
goddamn unfocused.
It needed some revisions.
And it kind of makes me wonder if, because this was his first non-Miramax film.
Yeah.
I wonder if like maybe they were a little stricter than we kind of thought they might have been. You know.
I definitely
I'm sure
think
Sony was probably like, "Oh, you do
whatever
you
you
want." Q."
I definitely think so, and I thought about that like before we even saw the movie, but I still had high expectations.
Yeah.
I'm sure his relationship with the Weinsteins,
Mm-hmm.
the Weinsteins,
Uh-oh. You summoned Satan.
was it was a lot. I'm sure them as producers had a lot more, of like, oh well, this, and that, whatever goes on during their process that he probably just didn't have during this, and he had so much more control. So yeah, it's just who knows.
That's a really good point too. Yeah. But I mean, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm just shitting on it because I still really enjoyed it. It's still one of my favorite directors making a film. It's still better than most of the films I'm going to see. That like, it is no matter what, it's going to finish in the top 10. It's right now, in my top 5 for this year. Like, it's still a masterful work of art. It's just
It just doesn't live up to that
The director,
expectation.
yeah,
of-
he has a
Q
very
can
high
do
expectation.
So much better, and he has done so much better.
yeah.
And I was so excited for this because of the setting and the potentials. And the end result we get is more just like on the scale of like Death Proof. And,
Yeah, and like
and that's
it's
another one where
it's
his,
much better than Death Proof, obviously.
Yeah.
But
It needs to be seen twice. It's too long to even
I do
remember
agree with that,
everything.
and that's why I said like I do want to see it again before I'm like.
I'm sure I missed like so much stuff.
Well, and also
So
like
it'd be cool to see everything again.
I'm totally down with him, changing up the formula because, he's every single one of his movies, for the most part, is like a different genre. Aside from Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are similar.
Well, one's more like a thriller, and then the other's more of like a...
Well, one of them's a heist crime movie, and the other one is like just a plain crime drama.
Yeah, so those are different enough because...
But yeah,
Reservoir Dogs has that thriller aspect to it.
Yeah, he tries to mix it up with, with all of his movies, but he still has like those signature things
The
in
big
there.
bloody mess at the end,
and,
the good
and
dialogue.
So, I totally feel the more laid back vibe, but like if he's still gonna have those like 20-minute drawn out, conversations, the gruesome, violent murder, at the end and all that stuff, have a tighter script. Yeah. Have more of a drive to it than what was there.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is it's like, you can tell from watching this how much he loves that era of Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
But it's almost like
that love sort of clouds the creative
that's kinda what I
process.
said earlier,
Like he made it for
the
himself and not a
measurements.
viewer.
But there wasn't. I didn't feel like there was almost enough. I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. This is not something that I planned on saying at all. It just came to me right now. It didn't.
It's very surface level.
It's very surface level. Like it didn't feel very compelling. If you get what I'm saying, like in terms of. This is like him saying, "Hey, I love this decade, this whole era of filmmaking," but there's not a whole lot to it that's giving us a reason why we should be in love with it as much as he is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No,
I
know what you
Kill
mean.
Bill and you're like, "Holy shit, I want to watch some fucking samurai movies." And I watched this and I was like, I might want to watch like a western, but not really not in the same way that like. Django, you watch that and you're like, I want to watch a fucking western right now, and part of that's because it's more trying to show the end of that era, but still, it's just kind of like.
Well, yeah, and it kind of suffered from the with what you said, a lot of the scenery and stuff. It's like, hey, look at that. Do you remember when that was?
You remember how Taco Bell used to look?
Yeah, remember when things looked like that? Remember when cars were like that?
Actually, that's a good point that you brought that up, because 50 years from now, I'll be saying that when I watch this movie again. It'd be kind of cool to see it.
Well,
all the actors acting.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
50 years from now, it'll have been 100 years.
I know, I'm saying that's a long time from now, but it'll be cool.
No,
it has a lot of historical value, I think.
Agreeing with your point.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I think I do think it does have good value in the long run.
That is actually something I was kind of thinking about when I'm watching it, is how many people that were alive building these buildings, or that vividly remember how this used to look, how many of them are still alive?
Yeah.
If somebody literally 50-ish years from now, I'm not talking to the microphone, sorry. If some guy 50-ish years from now was trying to make a period piece back in the 1950s, this is probably going to be one of the best reference points they can use, stuff like this, or obviously there's pictures and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So do you think this movie would have been better suited, marketed differently? Because we were going in thinking it would be an action type movie. At least I did.
I just went into it expecting a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Because this was more laid back style.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, totally. But what was the point I was trying to make?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know, Bart.
No, that's all right. Yeah, no, the just sort of surface level stuff, and it's I get that it's already a 2 hour and 40-minute movie. There's only so much you can really show, but I felt like it needed a little more of the feeling of being in that era, rather than
just driving a car.
Rather than being hey, look, it's Bruce Lee. Hey, look at this old car. Hey, look, it's Roman Polanski dressed as Austin Powers.
Do we need...
Did you notice that outfit? I'm sure people dress like that, but all I could think of when they were going to the Playboy Mansion, that's literally the opening scene of the first Austin Powers, that blue suit with the handkerchief thing.
Oh my god, that reminds me of the Playboy thing.
Yeah.
Just that shitty ass exposition dump.
Oh
with
my
Steve
god.
McQueen.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look,
Yeah,
it's Steve
so,
McQueen.
That's Shannon Tate.
Sharon.
Or, shit, I always do that.
And that's Roman Polanski.
And
I'm
that's
Steve McQueen.
and that's her ex-husband or whatever.
Yeah.
And
It's just like, oh my god, is this happening in a Quentin Tarantino film?
oh my god. Yeah, like, oh, I don't need this. Like, we get it. And if you don't know who they
Especially
are,
because you just had the fucking word pop-ups for them too.
yeah. Well, yeah, and also the fact that like their characters don't matter anyway.
Yeah,
like they're
no.
not really in any of the movies. So having like this big long exposition scene where like explaining their relationship when Roman Polanski isn't even in the third act.
That was really the whole thing. Was like
Because I mean, obviously in real life he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But you know, we don't need this whole setup. It's which kind of contradicts what I said earlier about like going into this and not knowing about the Manson stuff or knowing about the Manson stuff, and you know, I there was too much exposition.
But see, that's the thing is, even as someone who knows it but isn't like, I don't want to call you an expert, but someone who knows much more about it than you know much more about it than I do.
Sure.
As someone who's more surface level, it had me. I was like, wait, was Polanski there? Like, what the? Like, all that really did more was just like make my brain think about other things other than the movie itself, especially during some of the really slow, grindy parts.
Right.
Because I'm like, wait, when did Polanski get killed? Like, where was like,
Where an alternate history like Inglourious Bastards, where you're like, yeah, this is all made up. None of this actually
but
happened.
It's blatantly obvious.
Yeah,
whereas
but in this one, it's like, okay, what is he trying to reference from real life? What is he making up from here? And it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't need this. You know, I don't need Mama Cass coming in for 5 seconds and be like, hey, look, it's Mama Cass, and she's talking to Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that.
And the whole thing with like Brad Pitt killing his wife.
Oh, that was never brought up again.
Yeah, and that just
You know,
never mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like
Yeah, I
kind of
don't-
out of character too. It doesn't make sense because he's just like a chill guy. So like, why?
Well, I mean, that's like I guess the thing he's kind of going for is like he's trying to, you know, like after he killed her, people wouldn't really work with him. That's why he had to become.
Whether it was an accident or
Ah,
not, or-
okay,
But still,
I see.
it just felt really like
it was just sort of there.
it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't need to even have its like scene that it like cut to. Like it could have just.
They could have just made reference to
Yeah,
it.
they paid
'Cause
too
when
much
you have an
attention to it.
Yeah, when you have an entire scene which is like kind of mirroring when Natalie Wood, what was her husband's name? I don't know. That's what it was kind of referencing. She was an actress.
She's not the one who killed Hartman, was she?
No, that was Bryn Hartman.
Ah, okay.
No, Natalie Wood.
Bryn.
Yeah, that's the only other famous Bryn. Well,
Oh, are
only
you calling
famous.
yourself a
Yeah, I'm
famous
pretty.
Bryn?
I'm pretty fucking famous. I'm on the internet. Yeah, no. She died in a boating accident. I'd used air quotes there.
Oh,
It's unsolved. Nobody knows really what happened. It's a fish. Her husband was also a famous actor. I can't.
sounds
for the
like
life
she
of me
wanted to fake her own death.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
And then,
that's right, because they were talking about that in the Red Letter thing, because Steve Buscemi was there or whatever.
No, not Steve Buscemi.
Wait, what?
No,
Steve?
Christopher Walken.
Shit.
Christopher Walken was
I
friends
always
with
mix
them.
up the two of them.
They were on the boat. But anyway, yeah. So like filming that scene, having it there, and then just sort of cutting before he actually kills his wife. Like, I get how that sets up the ambiguity of it, but then there's just like a very misty payoff to that, where it's like
Not even. I think Misty's being generous.
yeah, like he brutally smashes in this woman's who was, you know, a murderer.
Yeah,
And well,
She-
in
she
real
wanted to
life, and
kill
this
him.
one she never got the opportunity,
but she wanted to. Kill
but she
him.
wanted to, but he stopped them.
Oh,
So it was
yeah.
like,
Well
oh,
said,
did he? Is this his redemption by, you know, inadvertently saving Sharon Tate by killing them,
Right.
or is it just sort of reinforcing the fact that his character is a violent psychopath while on acid?
Yeah.
Like,
And you get neither of.
yeah, and that's where it's very muddy.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, and I'm sure that was his intention, to be like, oh, it's very ambiguous, you know,
Yeah.
filling the blanks. And I usually like that kind of stuff.
I like it when it's done well.
There were
This
too
did
many
not
blanks.
feel like it was done well.
Yeah, in this case, it was just sort of.
What about things that were done well?
I mean,
Oh,
like
there
I
was-
said, there's a lot done well, like, especially on a technical level, and making
the performances.
Oh God, yeah.
A lot of the writing was
This is,
strong.
I think this is my favorite Brad Pitt performance since *Inglourious Bastards*.
Yeah.
I think he's been in a lot of great movies since then. I can't think of anything else he was in. And it was in that movie where he tries to kill his wife, when he's on that seaside hotel. That's all I can think of.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's him and Angelina Jolie together.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
No. That's every time I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen him act well in a movie in a while. There was what about Mr. and Mrs. Smith? I'm like, oh, well, I mean, he was in a good movie more recently than that. *Glorious Bastards*.
He was in good movies before that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
That's definitely his best performance he's given in a while, I think.
yeah.
Leo's great in most things he's in.
He's just Leo. He was Leo.
Yeah.
I would still say, even in terms of performance, I would still say Calvin Candy was a much better performance for him. Though.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
It's much better material to work with than
I think Brad Pitt should at least get an Oscar nomination.
I would say Brad Pitt was much more of a driving force for me in this film than
That-
Leo was.
I think it would be hilarious if he won for Best Supporting Actor, because any actor that wins in a Tarantino movie is for Supporting Actor,
Yeah.
which I think there's only been 3, and two of the same person. Christoph Waltz.
Oh.
He won for *Inglourious Bastards* and for Django.
Fuck, he won for Jang. I don't know
Yeah.
why I can't remember that.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's not in
he's-
any English movies though, or American movies.
He was in a couple of
not.
things after Django.
Well, he had
Well, yeah,
he was in fucking Dumbo.
Tarzan.
Oh,
Oh, he was
was
in
he?
Dumbo too.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Tarzan. He was in that fucking Tarzan.
He was like the
movie.
villain for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I
I
saw
never saw that. Oh.
Oh, I didn't see it from the trailer alone, where Tarzan jumps up in slow motion and punches
Oh
a
gosh.
donkey, or not a donkey.
Donkey.
He
Donkey.
punches a donkey in the middle of the rainforest.
Yes.
And then Christoph Waltz looks down and says, "Nice ass."
Oh yeah,
Is that how you say it? Nice ass.
Samuel L. Jackson was in it too as another villain. In that.
Oh, and Tarzan.
Yeah. Wasn't he?
I don't fucking
I
know.
don't know.
Mr. Biggles? You
I don't know.
saw it.
Sam
I
wasn't
don't
in.
remember.
He wasn't in this movie, was he?
Samuel L.
Yeah.
Jackson? No, he was not.
No.
He was sort of just replaced by Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
where you probably could have interchanged either one of them.
Oh yeah, no, you totally could have, but Sam's probably too busy with all of his fucking
Marvel,
Marvel
yeah.
obligations.
Kurt,
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in this.
I really hated the fucking cock tease of Bruce Dern's scene in the trailer,
Oh yeah.
where they're building up this tension so fucking beautifully, and then it's just like, yeah, he's there and he's asleep and he's blind.
He's an
Okay.
old man, and the girl fucks him.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like literally just as he's walking out, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what was the point of that scene?
I was expecting the finale of the film to be him coming back and gunning them all down in the fucking Spawn Ranch. That's where I thought the alternate history was taking us. That's where
Yeah,
I thought
they
we were
they had
going.
this entire sequence at the ranch.
It went
to
that
sort
was
of-
a solid at minimum 20 minutes of time.
Yeah,
dedicated
minimum.
To that. The only
Of
thing
him
you really
just
get from that is the introduction of Tex, who then comes later and
yeah, in
shut
the
off.
Manson girls,
yeah.
and that's fine, but it didn't need to be that. And there wasn't really that compelling of dialogue in there. There wasn't anything memorable from that.
I'm gonna fuck him so hard he's gonna watch my TV show.
Yeah, we gotta
even though
watch.
he's blind.
We gotta watch FBI tonight, so he has to take a nap.
What the fuck does it matter if he stays awake? He can't watch the goddamn show anyway.
Yeah, 'cause he's
fucking blind.
That's true.
That's why I was like,
If
okay.
that's the joke, then I guess I missed it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's got to be dead because what she's saying literally makes no sense. This is nonsense. Well, I fucked him real good. Now he's sleeping,
And-
he's got to be awake for the TV show. Okay, very clearly.
Yeah, like some kind of twist is happening.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, he's just there, and then him and Brad Pitt have this awkward exchange,
where
and then
doesn't
he leaves.
remember him, and
then he leaves and he punches a hillbilly in the face
Yeah.
and drives off before
That was
anything
great.
can happen. Like, oh
I
yeah,
love that
I did
sequence.
like watching a hillbilly get punched in the face.
fucking hippies.
Change my
Yeah,
tire.
there's just so many things where like you think it's gonna go somewhere, and then it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Subverting
and
expectations.
then everything's just gone.
Oh God, is this the Last Jedi of Quentin Tarantino
Yes.
films?
Maybe that's the new trend, Alex.
Oh,
That's the
you
new meta.
fuck.
Yep.
So final words on this, I guess. I don't really have much to.
I'd have to see it again before I 100% 100% stand by what I'm saying now, but it's definitely worth watching, if nothing else, for their performances, just to see how authentic he made most of Los Angeles look, and just the fucking end scene alone.
Yeah,
is
the
worth
last
it.
20 minutes.
It's worth all of the bullshit and everything with like the jokes about him going over to Italy and everything. I mean, those were funny. And
Oh yeah.
what did you fucking say when he comes back from Italy? Who did you say that Leo looks like with like the fat suit on and everything?
Oh, he looked like Jack Black, like a young Jack Black.
Oh yeah, he did. He looked so weird.
Yeah, he looked fucking goofy.
But yeah, so yeah.
But
I think
yeah,
it was a.
that's-
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say that's about my opinion on it.
I think it's a good film, but like if you're a common moviegoer, it's
Bogdan,
yeah.
the common man.
yeah. The common
Common
moviegoer
man.
is not gonna like this. I don't think.
Oh.
Maybe, but I think it's kind of a little more outside most people's comfort zone. A 2-hour, 40-minute movie with no real plot. But I guess maybe they won't know that going into it.
Right. Yeah, I mean this was the first Quentin Tarantino movie that, other than Death Proof, I just don't count that.
Death Proof is just a
nobody
given.
counts Death Proof. I saw that like one time on my computer when I was like 13 or
144p.
14, and I don't remember anything about it. This is the first one of his movies that right after seeing it, I was like, I wasn't blown away by that.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
every single other one, and like the Hateful Eight got like so much shit when it came out. I was like, that was fucking
loved
great.
it. Yeah.
And like I just rewatched it the other day, just out of like, oh, I just saw this long ass movie. I'm gonna watch this long ass movie, and they have the extended
Makes
version on
sense.
Netflix.
Yeah,
that's
and
when
they-
I
and
watched.
They break it into four
episodes, yeah.
Did you find that worked for it?
It,
I haven't watched it in that way yet.
I liked it. It's a little too much. The theatrical version is better. I think that's the definitive version.
I love the extended cut.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I thought
Again,
there
had
was just
such
a little
positive
too much that.
experience seeing it. So
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were a few things that it just kind of went on with, but
The
but I did
jelly beans.
like seeing the additional scenes. But yeah, I loved that movie, and then just walking out of this, I was just like,
I felt wrong. I was like, am I
am I
opinion
missing
wrong?
something? Like I
Yeah.
usually,
I was like looking around, like, did anyone else like really like that, or
well, that's kind of how I felt walking out of The Last Jedi. It was like,
it felt
did
so
I just-
wrong?
did we see the same movie? Like,
Yeah.
what?
everybody else is like,
Yeah, it's fucking
Yippee!
Yeah. Well, I think this is better than The Last Jedi. I think
Oh, God,
The Last
yes.
Jedi fucking sucks as a movie. While, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it works as a movie and it has redeeming qualities, but
Do you want to hear my my shitty buzzy catch summary?
yeah, sure.
So as you said, the one that every reviewer right now is using is
It's Quentin Tarantino's love letter to 60s Hollywood.
let me hit you with this one.
Alrighty.
Big Al.
It's the most Quentin Tarantino movie that I've ever seen, but it feels like it was not made by Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
Big.
It feels like somebody was hired to do a Quentin Tarantino script.
Yeah.
Like somebody else made, kind of in the same way that, like when...
Bad Times at the Old El Royale.
Yeah, similar
Yeah.
to that. I honestly liked Bad Times at the El Royale better than this.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I think so, too.
I would say more similar to like when a shittier director does a Coen Brothers script. But it's not
or
the
even
Coen brothers.
like True Romance or Natural Born Killers.
Yeah. It just it didn't. Other
Well,
than
I kind of disagree with that because I think the directing is on point. It's just the script itself is a little convoluted.
I mean, I'm sure all of his scripts are convoluted, but he knows what to actually make sure gets in the film and what is not necessary. And in this, he did not. He was just like, it's all going in.
It's all going on.
There's no such thing as a deleted scene. We filmed it. We filmed them feet. They're getting put in.
Oh God, I'm sure the rough cut was about 4.5
Oh
hours.
gosh, he probably pushed for it too.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm making my Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh my gosh, Lawrence of Hollywood.
So, at least in terms of his next film, do you think it's do you think it's just gonna be the Star Trek? Do you think it's gonna be something original? Is it
The
gonna be
Star
Kill
Trek.
Bill 3?
The big.
It's
Star
it's
Trek.
definitely not gonna be Kill Bill 3. I don't see him ever doing Kill Bill 3
Which I'm fine with. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything necessary.
or
to
the
do that.
Vega Brothers movie.
I don't really need to see that.
No, I don't want to
especially-
see an aging Michael
Yeah.
Madsen and Tarantino or not Tarantino. John Travolta playing 20-year-old versions of themselves.
or even someone else playing the two of them. I don't
Yeah.
need that.
Oh no, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
I definitely
He
don't
wouldn't
want
do
any
that.
of those.
I don't think he would do that.
Yeah. It would be cool if he did Star Trek, but only if like he would make another movie after that.
That'd be so
that would be
weird.
his-
I
10th.
don't want Star Trek to count if he's gonna make a fucking Star Trek.
Yeah,
movie.
especially since like from what I've seen, the script isn't actually his. I think he helped with the story or something, but
Just his shooting style then that they're wanting, or what?
I don't know. He likes
If he's not even writing the script.
he likes Star Trek, but like
he's
the '60s Star Trek. He's like, that's all Star Trek is.
Yeah.
It's they did it. It's Spock and Kirk and
That makes
That's
sense. He would
And
say
every
the
episode was just
60s.
about jacking off in a spaceship and.
oh my God, it's the evil versions of us, but they have goatees, so that's how we know they're evil.
True.
Tribbles. Everybody likes a tribble.
So
Remember Tribbles, Bard?
yeah, I remember Tribbles.
So,
We did just super quickly because we should wrap this up, but
No.
we did see another movie.
Yeah, Brennan and I saw another movie called The Art of Self-Defense, starring Jesse Eisenberg, and
And Billy from Jurassic Park 3.
nobody fucking.
what?
The entire
Probably the only person
Huh?
who
Is that the
knows
kid?
No, it's the have you seen Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah.
You familiar with it? Okay.
just-
It's the guy that
character.
steals the raptor eggs and he has the paraglide at the end and he gets attacked by the
The one that
pterodactyls.
gets stuck in the tree?
No, not the kid's stepdad.
Oh.
The guy that gets attacked by the pterodactyls and then at the very end he's still alive.
Oh, I don't even remember him,
Oh,
but he
It's
was in
Billy.
it.
He's the hang glide guy.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
Billy.
you know, Billy the hang glide guy.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he's in this, and the whole movie, I'm like, God damn it, where have I seen that guy? And then when we were done, I was like, oh, it's Billy from Jurassic Park 3, because I've
Most
seen that movie
memorable
like
character.
I've seen that movie like fucking 50
Is that the one
times.
with the Spinosaurus?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
Yeah, that's an underrated movie. But
Dinosaurs
anyway,
are
yeah.
cool.
So this movie is Jesse Eisenberg is a little bitch.
He's like an accountant for some.
Jesse
some,
Eisenberg plays Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
And then he takes up karate classes so he
because
can.
he gets mugged
Yeah.
by a gang of motorcyclists.
Yeah.
He gets mugged. He starts doing self-defense classes. Doing the self-defense classes, he learns to stand up for himself
And
But-
how to punch with his feet.
and how to punch with his feet and kick with his fists. But I promise you, because that description sounds very, very basic and ordinary,
It gets fucking.
and this film is anything other than that. I don't think I've seen anything take like a weirder turn since I saw.
Sorry to bother you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Sorry to bother you came completely out of nowhere though, whereas like I knew what the quote unquote twist in this was gonna be within the first couple of minutes of the film,
Oh yeah.
but it went way darker with it than I expected.
Oh
it
yeah.
to.
Pretty
Oh
much.
my God.
There were like a few beats that like at the very beginning of the movie, I leaned over to you. I'm like, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen,
yeah,
and then it happened.
I was like, yep, that's exactly what I was
Yeah,
thinking too.
but it didn't take away from the movie because
No.
I thought it was done very well. You know, as just like a low budget, small released movie.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. It's a
Very, very funny.
dark comedy
Man
type,
just losing his mind and going insane.
Yes.
And I don't want to spoil it for
Yeah,
you,
I don't want to
Anthony.
give away anything.
I don't want to give anything
because
away
Anthony's
from
here
you.
too, and I want you to see it.
I genuinely think you would love this movie.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
It's definitely the best film I've seen so far this year.
Yeah.
By
Yeah, I
a
really
pretty
like it.
significant margin.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to watch it then.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah.
I'd have to go back and think about what we saw this year, but this one just sticks out as damn, I'm really glad we saw that.
See, that's what's nice actually about keeping a letterboxd is every time I see in a movie, I just throw up a quick star rating on there, and then I can go back throughout the year and be like, let me
Is this
see.
an advertisement?
It's not really an advertisement. It's just
No, we're
something
definitely
I've
not
been-
getting paid.
No, we're not. I've
So
been
what
meaning-
is it? It's an app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of, I don't know if it's hosted by IMDb, but it's kind of taken up that void since IMDb turned comments and stuff off.
Yeah.
You can make your own reviews. You can assign a 1 through 5 star rating to all films, and then you can easily view them. You can look at the order they came out in.
Oh, okay.
You can look at when you
saw
put
it.
the star in.
Oh, that's nice.
You can even go and it breaks down. I can look and I saw I went through and just reviewed probably about 300 or 400 films that I'd seen.
Damn.
And then I'm looking at a breakdown, and I'm okay, I have way too many 5 stars on here. So I clicked on the 5 star, and I'm going through. I'm okay, this isn't a 5 star. Cut it down, cut it down, cut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have too many 1 stars on here. What am I not giving enough credit to? It genuinely...
Caddyshack 2, 1 star.
I want to see Big Al's list of movies.
Yeah, why have I not heard about this? I don't know. You never brought this up before that you do this. This sounds great. I'm going to go home and fucking make an account.
Well, it was more I was kind of thinking, since we do, film reviews, as film reviewer, I'm pretty sure Stuckman...
Oh, yeah, we're film
And
reviewers.
so, well, I mean, we're something. Stuckman and some others do have, there's, available. So
Yeah,
people
I know
can see
there
them.
is it different than that one app where you film yourself doing basically a Vine review?
Yeah, you don't.
It's not that.
video, it's all text.
Okay. I forget what that app's called, but he's been sponsored by them a couple times.
I'm pretty sure he has, and I know Ralph Seppi has a letterboxd at least. Maybe
Okay.
Maybe Stuckman doesn't. But
Whatever, anyway.
some of the people I watch reviews of.
No, that's cool.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I
no,
gotta
it's,
check
it's
that out.
helpful because I'm oh yeah, the shittiest film I've seen this year that was Jurassic World 2.
Yeah,
Gave
that's when I'm
I gave
thinking
that a
about.
half star.
I really didn't like that movie, but for some reason, when I'm thinking, what did I see this year? Oh yeah, I saw Jurassic World and Godzilla, which I liked Godzilla.
Godzilla, I was more of a 2 star.
I'd give. Can you give half stars?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'd give it a 3.5, which I think that's what I gave it when or 3.5 baked potatoes. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
I don't really like stating an actual 1 through 5 type thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I like. I more put it on there for myself as a quick.
To be did I like this?
Yeah.
Would I go back and see this again?
No, I would not. But Art of Self Defense was definitely the only 5 star I've seen so far this year, and I would consider that a 5 star.
You give it a 5 star? I give it
I
a
would.
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
It's just so much of the humor worked on such a perfect level for me.
Oh yeah.
And the way that because you can also write reviews. I don't usually, but I did for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make mine as short as possible. But I just said, really, it's the best way to approach this movie is like a road trip. It's not really about the destination, because you know the destination pretty much as soon as you start watching.
Oh yeah. So it's
about
just
that whole drive.
yeah.
there.
and there's definitely a drive there.
Oh my god, yeah. You want to talk about a focused movie compared to Hollywood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it
Good contrast.
it was under 2 hours,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yes.
Yeah. So
And there were parts that felt like they were meandering, but they were building towards something great.
yeah, it was like they referenced something and then it comes up later.
Everything came up later.
The
Everything that got referenced came up later.
That's good
the only
writing.
thing that I'd say, I wouldn't even call this a negative, just sort of oh, I wish they would have done this. was sort of flesh out the relationship between Jesse Eisenberg and the girl a little more. It didn't really matter. Like, they definitely didn't have to shoe in, like, a romance.
And I liked that, not to spoil it for Mr. Biggles, but
Oh,
I liked
yeah.
that they didn't really do that.
Yeah, because
they-
her character, her whole thing was about being good at karate.
Yeah.
And she has a good character arc with that. I thought a little more interaction would have been a little better. Their scenes together were fun. But even then, it's like I'm fine with how it is. That's just my only suggestion.
I genuinely find it refreshing when there is a male lead and a female lead in a film,
And they don't fuck.
and they don't fuck. They don't even appear to have any sort of actual feelings for each other outside of human.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There was another movie that we've talked about before where we were both like, "Oh yeah, I like that they didn't just have." You know what? I think it was Rogue One. I think that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
And did we? We don't think.
We did.
Was
Wait,
Rogue
did
One?
we? No.
Rogue One
We
wasn't around.
No, we
when
never did.
Yeah, we started this well after Rogue One.
Yeah. But that was walking out of that. I was like, when they were on that elevator, I swear to God, they were about to make out.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, we might have, in reference to something later, where we're talking about how forced it was to have Finn and Rose kiss each other.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like when they don't have that. Yeah, I'm not saying that they needed to have a romance. I just thought fleshing out some of the characters would have been would have helped a little bit.
I agree.
But at the same time, Jesse Eisenberg in the karate, the sensei, he
doesn't even have a name. He's just
Sensei.
That's all this movie needed.
Yeah, it was very self-contained. I liked it.
If I had one real gripe, it would be, and it was something that you thought was going to happen, with the character who you only see a picture of and nothing else.
No, you thought that.
Oh, I thought that?
Yeah, you thought that. I didn't think that.
My bad.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wish that the guy who plays Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, there's a picture of him in the dojo.
They Photoshop him so he's fat.
Yeah.
Though.
They did this weird Photoshop on him, and he's a constant part of the story, but he's not actually
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's referenced multiple times. They keep going back to that picture.
That goddamn picture, and just you missed the introductory scene with it, but where he's just talking about the massacres you were getting your nachos.
Yeah.
It's just so goddamn funny, because it's just so strange. This movie just does strangeness so well.
Yeah, it definitely got our sense of humor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
I think that's part of why I personally would give it a 5 out of 5, even though it's probably nowhere near worthy of that.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit everything so perfectly for me.
So would recommend and
100% recommend.
So I think that about
Watch it, little guy.
That about does it
I
for
will.
us today. Anthony, you got any final words before we?
Anything you want to plug or promote?
Oh yeah, I just want to plug my own movie basically, and thanks for having me on the show again.
Absolutely.
Of course, you're our only recurring guest, but
Oh yeah, this is my third time, right?
yeah.
You're a great reoccurring character.
Hey, you've gotten better at speaking into the microphone with each appearance.
Yes, I've realized I have to hold it very closely, but also the other times I was speaking way, way, way far away.
And you didn't say
Because we
anything
had to share.
super questionable that
Yeah,
I may or
there's
may not
nothing
have to
that-
edit out.
I
Nothing has to be
was
edited
very
out.
I
You
had
were on your best behavior
I
today.
used my brain and I told myself to think before I spoke, which is a thing I
He's
haven't learned.
learning!
I've never done that before, so
Aw.
I'm proud of myself. Thanks for
That's good.
pointing that out,
That's
Barn.
good. Well,
Well,
thanks.
we're glad to have you on, and hopefully we can have you on again sometime soon, little guy.
Yep. I have to fly back to Florida.
Yeah.
So good seeing you
We're,
guys in Ohio.
We're gonna
Great
try
feature.
and get my sister on for the next episode. I think.
Yeah, but before the 48 premieres.
Potentially, we'll see. Because we still haven't talked about.
already Wednesday.
We still haven't bitched about Game of Thrones yet. So.
Well, I thought we were gonna have her on for that.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nuts.
But yeah, we'll be on, and then also don't forget at the end of this month, it seems like it's so fucking long ago that we had the voting for it.
Oh yeah. I don't know why they waited so fucking long.
I honestly feel like they were gonna do it last month and then realized that the 48 was going on, and I feel like they were like, "There's probably too much crossover here," because I know we would have chosen the 48 over this, like the award ceremony for sure.
Do you know of anyone that did the 48 that is also has a podcast that's nominated or anything? Or are we the only ones that are?
Because my friends at Gab Street, or our friends of the podcast, Gage, who used to be on Gab Street, him and his friends did do a film, but he's no longer on Gab Street. It's just Corey now, but that's still a really cool podcast. I like listening to them and learning a lot about how big the Columbus hip hop scene is, which I had no fucking idea before I started listening to them. No, I'm being genuine.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cool dudes. That's about all I got.
Cool.
Right on.
Big news, Al.
So that'll about do it for us.
Yeah, that'll do it. Make sure to get your body double. Get him a Bloody Mary. And also, just, don't forget to spay your grandpa.
Spay and neuter your grandpa.
Spay and neuter your grandpa. I'm sorry. Spay and or neuter your grandpa. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.